Ebusame mo akɔ abadebade H Politics Avenue. Ebusame didi se bibi aboko. Won't subscribe to our channel. Kindly do that and please share the video to other viewers. Now leave a nice comment under the comment section. Ebusame my mbumba yen seminum. A year new job in MP friend Michael Befi. Ochire de Babontin say NDC to me we need sitting na ewo Akwatiana. He is going to resign from his post. And I in idea and say NDC at the cases of Akwatia by elections nti ɛnɛ ɛyɛ computer man de aba abɔnten sɛ if say papa na resign they are going to write to the Speaker of Parliament na yɛagye ne seat no afiri ne nsam ɛnyɛ saa Ghanafoɔ ɛmfa yɛ serious momma yɛmmɔwura yɛn nsɛm no mu na yɛnkɔhwɛ nsɛm a ɛyɛ computer man ɛka fa a ɛyɛ Michael Ochiri Befi ho.
Don't vote for a party that will only deliver you press conference. You vote for a party that will bring you development, employment for your youth. And that is what we have done. And clearly, we have to give thumb up to the good people of Akwatia, executives of our party, led by our national chairman and the general secretary of the party. In fact, they've been here for the past week. They've not gone anywhere. Leadership of the party, all the executives slept here, worked across the distance. So the victory is an organic victory, a victory for the people. Yeah. We are going to Michael Befi constituency.
He says he's apologized and
we are not accepting it. Nobody's going to. We are not accepting the apology. He must resign. If he doesn't resign, Ghanaians will not take politicians serious. We must be serious. They must hold us to our words. Whatever comes out from my mouth, they must take me serious. I can't just stand here and make allegations, say certain things. Michael Befi will come to his constituency. We are going to test.
But the honorable thing is also to apologize, and he has apologized. Don't you think you should accept his apology?
Apologize. Is that what we are saying? Honorable members, when you are called honorable, everything of you must be honorable.
But the General Secretary I spoke to also says that some of your members, including members of Parliament and ministers, have made worse statements than that of Michael Ochiri Befi, and Ghanaians have not hold them to resign from their positions.
I'm saying the gentleman made a categorical statement. I will resign.
He apologized.
Let us go and test their strength in that constituency and see whether that's a strong hold of the NPP. That's why you could stand and say he will resign. He was here with us. We are going to hold him. If he doesn't resign, we will write to the Speaker of Parliament. And he must apologize in the floor of Parliament so that the whole public will see who he is, so that they know that certain activities of people like that should not be countenanced by Ghanaians. They must allow decency in our politicking so that Ghanaians will respect us.
Candidate that is Bernard Bediakon Bedu in a constituency with volatile, electoral history, and it is not a safe seat for any of these political parties. Now, since 1992, the NPP has held a narrow 5-4 edge over the NDC, and a whole lot, has happened. But I'll continue with that information. But before then, let's move on to the line and then speak to Kojo Ansan, who happens to be our Eastern Regional correspondent. You should just bring us up to speed as to the happenings in Akwatia. A lot is happening. We want to understand better because in just a few weeks away, we'll be having this by-election. And I'm told a lot of the NPP gurus are already in town. A lot of the NDC gurus are already in town. The place is choked with so many activities. Let's move on to the line and then speak to our Eastern Regional correspondent, Kojo Ansa. Kojo, good evening to you.
Good evening,
I hope you are doing well.
By grace.
Right. So I know you've been scanning across. You've been monitoring the happenings in Akwatia regarding the by-election that'll be happening, in a week's away. Share with us what are the activities, in that constituency. What is happening now?
Well, so in Akwatia right now, campaign has been intensified by the NDC and the NPP in particular in this election. The NPP, I must say, started campaigning in Akwatia ahead of the by-election, way before the NDC started, obviously because of the 8 fallen heroes whose funeral were pending. So until that funeral, the NDC wasn't active in Akwatia. But then right after the burial and the state funeral for these 8 individuals, then the campaign activity resumed. But before the NDC came, the NPP national executives had been in Akwatia for weeks. Campaigning and introducing the candidate that they selected to lead them in this particular election. We saw the likes of Nana B, Henry Nana Boache, Justin Kodia, the General Secretary, Miracles, Dennis Abuaje, and all these people that we know are in the circles of the NPP, came around. Just that we've not been able to witness or we've not seen. People were expecting that the flag bearer, the former flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the running mate will all be there. We yet to get the answer whether or not they will be there before the September 2nd. On the side of the NDC too, we noticed the likes of Julius Debra, the Chief of Staff, Ofosu Ampofo, they have been there. The national organizer, Joseph Yamin. We have, the regional executives led by regional chairman, Dr. Marco Livakevo. We've seen the regional minister has also been there, and a lot more people from the side of the NDC. As we speak, they are there. The national youth organizer of the party and the youth wing, that is the Green Army, they came to the region, to the constituency some few days ago, and they are still on the grounds, even though the national youth organizer left briefly to Accra to participate in the passing out of the YEA police recruits. But then we are told he will return to the constituency as well. But the other members of the youth wing are still on the grounds, and they are intensified campaign. Whereas on the side of the security, frankly speaking, the security took everybody by surprise in Akwatia. They were expecting that maybe a few days to the election, then that they will see the security personnel, deployed to Akwatia. However, since last week, deployment started, and when you enter Akwatia, right from the road to Akwatia, before you enter, you see a lot more of police checkpoints, and you have to go through. The police will be searching the vehicles, and if you have load, you have to explain where you're going. Then they will check those loads, and they will be inspecting the vehicles, the passengers on board. If you have suspicious, luggage, they will ask what is inside. So all these checks are happening, and it is all over the Akwatia. The main entry points to Akwatia. At the Coalition Center, the last time we went there, that was 2 days ago, we saw not less than 150 police barricades. Like they've barricaded the entire place, even though nothing is happening. Which signifies that indeed there's going to be stringent security measures at the Coalition Center, because we do know the Coalition Center has history of violence, and that is where mostly the electoral violence happened during coalition in Akwatia. Then violence will break out. So this time around, the police is not taking anything to chance at Akwatia Coalition Center. So basically, I must say that this is what's happening. Yesterday, we spoke with the Eastern Regional Director of Electoral Commission, Mr. John Apiabafo, who told us that everything is set for the election, and they hope that they will have a peaceful by-election in Akwatia. Already, the materials and everything is ready, and that their men who will be on grounds to supervise the election are also ready, and they will move to the community a day or two before September 2nd to ensure that the election goes on successfully.
That's a very, very comprehensive one. So we've touched on security. We've also touched on the bit, of the EC, their preparedness and all that. Let's also do a bit of these political parties, especially the candidates involved. That is, for the NDC, of course, we have Solomon. For the NPP, we have Solomon Kwame Asumadu, and then for the NDC, we have Bernard Bediakon Beidou. How is campaign, so far? Are they intensifying it, or possibly they are even wrapping up?
Right, so 3 individuals are contesting in this election. As you mentioned, Solomon Kwame Asumadu is contesting for the NPP, then Bernard Bediakon for the NDC, and Owusu Patrick of Liberal People's Party, LPG. So they are contesting this particular election. So there are three. So I must say, I mean, these two particular candidates, the NDC and the NPP candidates, they are most visible. Regarding the LPG candidates, we've not even seen him. The posters are not quite visible in Akwatia here, so the campaign is essentially between the NDC and the MPP. And frankly speaking, when you get to Akwatia, a lot more people, there have been mixed reactions. Right from the NDC primaries, after the primaries, a lot of issues were happening regarding the candidate that the NDC is presenting. It looks as if he is not too popular among, I must say, let me use the street word, among the streets. I mean, as compared to that of the NDC MPP candidates. And I've spoken to some of the NPP executives, and they tell me that it was a strategy, just as they used a similar strategy in presenting Amase, because Amase belonged to that common group of people that we say, and she was for the people, and she was with the people on the streets, with the miners, So it's the same strategy that they are going in this election with Mr. Kwame Asumadu. And they believe that Kwame Asumadu, as a miner, he is with the boys, he is with the streets, he's with the miners, and he's popular in the area. They believe that he will be the better candidate to win for them. That's the more reason why they tactically, selected him. On the side of the NDC, for the NDC, a lot of issues happening. One is an internal issues, because one of the aspirant or contenders of the primaries, by name Erasmus Ali Kone alias Asanka, he is the most popular candidate on the streets of Akwatia among the NDC contenders. Unfortunately, he could not win the primaries to become the parliamentary candidate. Mm-hmm. This is the issue. Supporters of Asanka or Ali Kone were complaining, and openly they were threatening to, as it were, even vote against the NDC candidates. Their issues are basically two or three. They believe that Asanka has not been treated well because in 2023, he attempted to contest the NDC MP, Henry Boache Iadom. He was spoken to step down, which he did. He was promised that the DC position will be given to him. However, when the time came and he, came out to contest the DC position, he went through vets and everything. However, the position was not given to him. Then the parliamentary promise came up. He contested. In fact, they were thinking that, it will be foregone conclusion that he will be presented. However, they believe that something went on by which lawyer Bernard Bediakon was kind of pushed and, won that particular parliamentary premise against with forces against Asanka. And so they believe that Asanka has not been treated well.
Okay.
And for that matter, they are not going to vote for the NDC candidates that they've presented in this particular election.
All right, thank you very much.
That's the major challenge that the NDC has. But, the leaders of the party says they've amended that kind of disunity among the base. And so they're thinking that they'll be able to go through with this election.
Thank you so much, Kojo. So this is quite a seeming challenge within the NDC, but of course, our reporter has mentioned that has been dealt with by the NDC. The executives, of course, they've dealt with that. But let's move on to the line and then speak to Tanko Computer, who happens to be the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC National. He is already in Akwatia. He was supposed to be in the studio, but duty calls, and I understand his position. He's a very, hot man. He doesn't have time at all. But let's go on to the line and speak to him. Tanko, good evening.
Good evening, my brother, let me say good evening to your cherished listeners.
And what do you also have for our listeners regarding your availability? I know it didn't happen. You may want to apologize.
Sorry, I have to apologize. That one is true. Because of the nature of the work, sometimes emergencies are accepted. So, apologies. I know you accept my apology.
That's fine. Thank you very much, Tanko Computer. So Tanko Computer is the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. But before we start off our conversation, I'm told that there was some sort of internal wranglings within the ranks and files, of the NDC regarding the fact that you had to go for Bediakon Beidou. It was a Sanka who was in the pipeline. What happened to that?
Well, the NDC is a social democrat. We are social democrats. It's a social democratic party. We allow everybody to test his or her strength before the delegates. We use the delegate system to decide who should lead the party. That is how we've been doing it all along. So when this matter came up, FEC took a decision that, look, although we had a candidate who was contesting and then even had to go to court over the disputed election results, but we felt that to be fair to everybody who want to test his or her strength, better we open the nominations. So we opened, and then three of them filed. The election was peaceful, it was transparent. It was clear, free and fair, and everybody saw the results very clearly. That's the beauty of democracy. That's how it is. The delegates might decide the way they want the candidates whom they think should lead them in the constituency. So when they give a verdict like that, we have to continue to work together. And I'm not surprised, as we speak now, the two other candidates are working with lawyer Bediako closely. They are working together and moving from door to door, hamlet to hamlet, branch to branch, ward to ward, and they are close together in terms of the campaign. So we are happy with that. All the differences have been resolved. Of course, you should expect it after primaries. You will still have some few people who might not understand or feel that their candidate should have won. But it's a contest. One person will eventually emerge. So they've put that one behind them, and they are working together. When I came here, the duty of it was so much. Being here throughout the day and worked branch to branch, and I've seen a lot. I've met leadership, and things are very positive for us. So everything is cool.
I'm happy you mentioned that has been dealt with, but I'm just hoping that nobody is bitter enough to want to do things against you. Well, I wish you all the best. But tell us, on the ground, you are there already, and I know you are doing a lot of things regarding IT and all that. How is the place looking like? Is it conducive enough for you to win that seat?
Oh, yes. The place is very conducive for NDC victory. The people, a cross section of them we met this afternoon. We're of the view that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is doing fantastic. His government is barely 8 months in office, is on top of issues. They've counted a lot of items they used to buy. One woman in the market was telling us she used to buy rice in the region of 1,000 Ghana cedis, bag of rice. That's 50 kilos. Now she can get it 600 Ghana cedis. So she's okay. She's happy. It has made her business grow because the money she used to buy all this things has reduced. She has recouped some of the things that she lost from that kind of reduction. So all these things, the local people are saying they are living testimonies to the good governance of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So they said they will vote for NDC. They will vote for that one. They are going to vote for NDC because they are living testimonies to it. And so they want to be part and parcel of the set agenda. So here the ground is solid, it's peaceful, and I must say the police are on top of issues. It's been very big. Look, the things that you hear in Accra, when you come to Akwatia, it's not on the ground. These NPP people are there doing propaganda all over airwaves and saying that A lot of policemen are here. They are intimidating people. Look, the place is very free. The people are walking about doing their business as if nothing is happening. It's just NPP who are in Accra making this noise. They should come to Akwatia. The defeat they will get come next week. Only God knows.
I'm glad you raised the issue of the police officers and their duties in Akwatia. I'm sure if you were in opposition, you would have been singing a different song, that the police, possibly you're looking out for the police and that they should be fair and all of that, and even possibly delay.
Ebusi ameda wasisa woje boy na woje penisa wode betwe na wode betie menim say yebesanso ihia na say ihia na de nsema emotion ma etwegu wo ma emu nkwa na esomo yesi ni week foforo mu de mo hwe yenim say yede nsema etwegu nkwa de behia mo meda wasisa woje boy ma ye yebesanso ihia mo ma bye.